the best way to describe it, I guess, is it's like something you'd see at the beginning of a Disney movie. You know, right after you hear that When You Wish Upon a Star music, and then they just cut to the opening shot, that scene setter, and there's the mountains and the lake and the old remote castle or church or steeple or whatever in the middle of the water, and inside that old building, you just know there's some fair-haired damsel waiting to be kissed or freed or waiting to climb down using her flaxen locks of hair. You know what I mean, right? I guess that's as good a way as any to describe what first comes to mind when you first set eyes on it. You've seen this place before. Can't quite picture where it's located, but you've seen it on Instagram. The kind of post that gets 20,000 likes and sets you off on a daydream about what it's like to live in such a beautiful European locale, eating great food and drinking great wine, strolling lakeside, and enjoying life. Well, we are here to tell you where this place is, why it's so amazing, what you should do when you get here, and why this place, Slovenia, is the most incredible, stupendous, picturesque, daydreamy, wonderful little country in the middle of nowhere that you should travel to without any further delay, and why you should be prepared to want to spend the rest of your life here. Gotta admit, didn't know much about Slovenia before we came here. We knew our former First Lady, Melania Trump, hailed from this spot on the globe, but that's about it. We probably couldn't even find this spot on a globe. If you can't either, here you go. Slovenia is a small mountainous country sandwiched between Croatia, Italy, Austria, and Hungary, touching the Adriatic Sea. They call it the Rockies of Europe because of the jaw-dropping Julian and Kamnik Alps that zigzag across the landscape here. Slovenia was part of both Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy during World War II. It was later part of Yugoslavia and was communist territory pretty much from the end of the war to the collapse of the Yugoslav Federation in 1991. It's one of those European countries most tourists just don't go to. And that's great news for you, because you'll get to enjoy the pristine beauty of this untouched gem pretty much all by yourself. Its capital and largest city is a postcard-perfect town of less than 300,000 people called
Ljubljana. Yeah, I know. If you take the J's out, just ignore the J's and it's Ljubljana.
If you wonder how to spell it, here's how. Ljubljana. In Ljubljana, we met a woman named Hannah from the U.S. who lives here.
I actually ended up moving here after being with my now husband for a while in the States. He's Slovenian American and he grew up there. We met there, and after we had our daughter, we decided that we wanted to live kind of like a European lifestyle.
So they came here and they have loved every minute of it.
Europe has a different kind of vibe, and it's just, I don't know, something in the food, something in the architecture, something in the feeling and the cultural vibe. I just really enjoy it.
She mentioned food right there, and you'll need it to fuel up if you're headed to this country's most famous lake or headed up into the mountains. And it turns out Hannah had us covered there.
Still looks pretty good.
If you're not quite sure about the local Slovenian cuisine, and if you're craving the tastes of home or nearby Italy, her husband just happens to run the single best pizza joint in all of downtown Ljubljana, Pop's Place Pizza.
He's always been an amazing cook and chef, and he just came up with this idea with his good friends who are restaurateurs a few years ago to open a burger restaurant, because there were no good burgers here, and people really took to him and loved it, and then he decided to go for pizza.
Okay, that worked out well.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Sean Toll, coming to you from Lake Bled in Slovenia.
Thank you, Sean. And with that, we have moved on to the most Instagrammed place in this entire country. This place, whoa, wow, not much else to say. A gorgeous tourist spot in the Julian Alps, butting up against the town of Bled. And in the middle, Bled Island. And in the middle of that island, the pilgrimage church dedicated to the Assumption of Mary, built in the 17th century with paintings dating back to the 1400s inside. Its 171-foot-tall tower sticking up into the Slovenian sky. The church, as you might imagine, a very popular place to get married, and an even more popular place to take pictures. Let's just sit here for a minute, show you this lake and this island and this church from a couple of different angles, and let you pretend for just a minute that you are not staring at a smudged screen on a greasy device, but instead, you are in a European paradise. Okay, stay with it. No reason to bounce back to reality just yet. Picture yourself here, taking a couple of hours to stroll around the lake, more if you stop to take pics, and you will, or stop by the restaurants and hotels and campgrounds nearby if you want to extend your stay, the real one, not the imaginary one, in one of the prettiest places on the planet. If you do plan a real trip here, just know that since the dawn of social media, tourists have arrived here at Lake Bled in throngs. So be prepared for people when you arrive. Many of them getting out on a canoe on the lake and getting the most memorable workout of their life, or just walking around pondering all of the good and bad decisions they've made in life, traveling here being one of the good ones. Let's face it, Europe is overcrowded, overrun by Americans fleeing the 50 states to travel across the pond and take pictures of themselves in unforgettable European locales to look cool and worldly and cosmopolitan. But you have the choice, the option, to overlook Paris and Rome and London and all those other places people always go to, and instead travel to an untouched oasis, the entire country with barely more than 2 million people in it, surrounded by forests and mountains and great skiing and small, clean cities with great views and great shops and great pizza. The choice is yours. Sure, you probably can't find Slovenia on a globe, but guarantee it'll be one of your favorite spots on the globe once you finally figure out where it is, how to get here, and how to stay here for the rest of your life, which coincidentally is the amount of time you'll need to learn how to pronounce the name of the place.
Ljubljana. Yeah, I know.